songs of Blue Tango, Syncopated Clock, and Bugler's Holiday. I thought it was appropriate that maybe we have one of the trumpets get up here and talk about their memories of this, because of Bugler's Holiday. That was a very favorite of Paul's. I remember it was probably the thrill of my life. One time just during practice, the band bass and Mr. Storti to get up there and play the trumpet with the other trumpets, and they played Bugler's Holiday. He didn't even use any music, and it was just extraordinary. Anyway, Danny's going to come up and talk now.
I didn't tell you beforehand that I was going to be doing this. Well, under the weather, but hopefully my voice will be clear enough to hear me. I had the opportunity to speak at Paul's funeral service. I have a few notes here. Not sure how many of those I should use and how long you want to listen. Speaking, that's great stuff. That's one of the good things about playing for Paul. He was a trumpet player, and he knew how to pick the music. Paul Storti has long been an influence in my life. I first became introduced to him when I was in 3rd grade and was being encouraged to play an instrument. He and Don Pollock were working together to produce a music program here in this district. My elementary years were with Don, and in 7th grade we moved to the junior-senior high. They were combined at that time. When we became 7th graders, we were filled in by our peers as to what to expect with the different teachers, including Paul. The word was out. He was mean, harsh, and tough. While all the rest of the students was kind of scary. I didn't really know what to expect. My fears diminished, though, as I viewed the upperclassmen and realized that they were doing fine. As I got into the program, I began to realize a different view of Paul. He loved music, and he was a talented musician. And his relationships were often built from that love. I realized that, yes, he was demanding, and rightfully so, as he wanted his students to develop their God-given talents to the best possible level. He also knew the difference between music and noise. He strove for excellence. He was also a teacher, and his job depended on having a good product. And he had the philosophy that if it's worth doing, it is worth doing right. He was very serious and committed to what he did, and his love for music drove him to encourage the best from his students. I developed a deep respect for Paul. I caught his love for the trumpet, and have always wanted to perform with him because I admired his ability. He was my trumpet hero. In many of my playing then, my mind drifted back to my years with Paul and his influence in my being in that particular situation. I appreciated his patience with me and the encouragement that he gave during some of the valleys in learning. He was a good teacher. And the area that was most impactful for me was the fact that he taught and lived out his teaching to the point that I taught more than was taught. I learned from him that teaching is much more on motivating the students to suffer than it is teaching them. Paul motivated me. I desired to be able to play like Paul. I learned to practice and enjoy it because I had strong motivation dragging me. Without it, I probably would not be playing today. I would be content to just turn a switch and listen to someone else play. I was not the only one affected by Paul. Many of my fellow students over the years have also benefited through his life. He was a giving man with a passion for music, making it, teaching it, and sharing it, and then just plain enjoying it. I wrote a prayer of thanks for Paul in my life. I just share that with you at this point. Lord, thank you for the gift of Paul in my life. Thank you for his love for music and how that impacted so many. Thank you for his persistence in teaching, for his love for his students. Thank you for the gift of music and the gift of relationship that so many of us shared with Paul Storti. Also, with us today is another one of the students, and this is something that Ryan's going to come and share a couple of anecdotes that he remembers back to his high school and era with Paul. So it's another Dan.
Trumpets tend to stick together. My name is Dan Matzoff. I'm actually a student of sort of Paul's second career, and I remember I believe I was in 5th or 6th grade. Went to my first lesson with Mr. Storti, and when I got there, I thought, man, this guy's really old. And I'm thinking, boy, I can't even play this trumpet. But maybe 3 minutes into the lesson, he pulled out his horn and played something for me, and as my jaw hit the floor, I realized I was trying to learn. And actually, it's been something that I've carried along with me for many, many years. This is one of the books that Mr. Storti had me working on when I started taking lessons. As you can tell, I'm still working on it. But there are some great memories of lessons with Paul. I'm currently a band director in the Twin Cities over Maple Grove, and I've told this story to my students many times, and I tell it with quite a lot of joy because my students really get the message of how inspired a teacher Mr. Storti was. I would show up for my lessons with Mr. Storti, and I remember particularly we were working on some quite technical studies and just things weren't quite happening. And every time I couldn't quite play something, and he sat right next to you in lessons in a chair that was just right next to your chair, so it was very close. You're right there, and you're looking on the same stand. And if I missed a note, he would take his hand like that in my leg. Well, there would be times that I could barely walk out. So I tell my students that we won't do that today, but just to get the idea that it would be the amount of inspiration that he would share. That's my memory.